Assalamualaikum and very good morning to Madam Azura and our fellow classmates. We are from Group 2. My name is Nurul Azira binti Samsudin.
My name is Asna Mazdin binti Abdullah.
My name is Alia Maisara binti Adnan.
My name is Intan Shafira binti Abdul Latif.
Today we will be presenting about two theories of motivation, which are expectancy theory and Adams equity theory. The first theory that we will be discussing today is expectancy theory. First point, this theory was introduced by Victor Vroom in 1964 and it explains about motivation and management. Vroom suggests that the relationship between people's behavior at work and their goals is related and the performance of a worker is influenced by individual factors such as personality, skills, knowledge, experience, and abilities. Moving on to the second point, the study assumes that behavior is a result from conscious choices among alternatives. The purpose of the choices is to maximize pleasure and minimize pain. People are motivated to engage in behavior when they believe that their efforts will result in performance and their performance will lead to outcome that they value. This expectancy theory consists of three components, which are expectancy, instrumentality, and balance. The first component, which is expectancy, it explains about correlation between effort and performance. Expectancy refers to the strength of a person's belief about whether or not a particular job performance is attainable. Every person has different expectations and levels of confidence about what they are capable of doing. For an instance, if they have high expectation in achieving certain goal, they will gain confidence and motivation to put effort towards that goal. To give an example, a person is asked to complete a complex task in just one day. The person believes that no matter how much effort that he put in, he probably not able to complete the task in 24 hours. So, because he does not believe that he can do it, he becomes unmotivated to complete the task. Therefore, his performance is very bad and this will lead him to have a low expectancy of himself to finish the task. That's all about expectancy. I'll pass to my friend to continue for the second component of expectancy theory.
So for the next component, it is instrumentality, where Victor Vroom has concluded that the person is believed that they will receive a reward if their performance expectation is met. The reward might be increasing in terms of their pay, recognition, or maybe sense of accomplishment. But the instrumentality might be low when the reward is given to all of them regardless to their performance. For example, individuals who have worked hard in their task, they supposedly achieve a promotion, thus they will be motivated to do better. But if that individual have worked hard on the task but they did not achieve a promotion, then they did not be motivated to work harder. Next. Then for the last component, which is balance, that is related to the emotional orientation, which people hold with respect to reward. It is the need of individual to receive something in return. It can be extrinsic, which is the external reward, for example, money, promotion, free time, and maybe benefits. It also can be intrinsic or internal reward, such as satisfaction. The person expects the reward and that the reward is valued by them. The reward also does not have to be monetary. So for the balance to be positive, the person must prefer attaining the outcome to not attaining it. For example, if the outcome meet the expectation, then it will be positive balance. But if the expected outcome is not favorable, it will be negative balance. Next. So to conclude the expectancy theory, it is the root of all variants of motivation for employee in the workplace. What an employee expects for the employer is a direct relation to the employee motivation for performance. Expectancy, instrumentality, and balance offer three different types of reward for employees, and depending on what type of reward is most important to them. Employees base their level of work and performance on the anticipation of how their employer will react. This will also apply to the student, employee, parents, and others. Just assume that there is a student that knows no matter how hard they study, they will not achieve an A. Thus, their motivation to study will be less important. In contrast, if they know that their lecturer will recognize how hard they have worked, then the motivation to study harder will be arise. Everyone needs to be motivated to perform better, whatever their current situation may be, and this is directly related to what they expect to receive in return for their effort. So that's all for the expectancy theory. I will pass it to the next theory.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will explaining about Adams' equity theory. So, the developer of this equity theory is John Stacy Adams, which I've attached the photo here. So, he is a workplace and behavioral psychologist, and the Adams equity theory is developed in 1693. So, this theory is a motivational theory that focuses on organizational fairness and justice. According to the George and Jones in the year of 2005, they defined the equity theory as a theory of motivation that focuses on people's perception of the fairness of their work outcomes relative to their work inputs. Next. Considers workers' perceptions of the fairness of work outcomes in proportion to their inputs. So, Adams notes it is the relative rather than the absolute level of outcomes a person receives. The outcome or the input ratio is compared by worker with another person called a referent. So, the referent is perceived as similar to the worker. Employees perceive what they get from a job situation, which is the outcomes, in the relation to what they put into it, which is the inputs. And then it compares their inputs outcome ratio with the input outcome ratios of the relevant others. Inputs is resources that contributed to performing the job, such as time, efforts, skills, and experience. Meanwhile, the outcomes can be the salary and other rewards received from the organizations, such as bonus, promotions, recognition, and achievement. So, I will pass to my friend to explain about what is input and what is the output.
Okay, so we move on to Adam's equity theory diagram, which is Adam used pendulum to illustrate his theory of motivation. Inputs is what the employees have contributed in the job, which are knowledge, skills, effort, and to be measured with output, which are what the employees have received from the job, like salary, bonus, and recognition. So this pendulum, these two things, you can see it on your right side. Input and output has to be equal or balanced. That's the foundation of equity principles. People look for fair and equal treatment. What they give, they want to get back the same way in return. If it's not, people become demotivated and reduce their inputs or seek improvement or change whenever they feel that their inputs are not being fairly rewarded. Okay, next. In equity theory, when individuals want to assess equity, they tend to compare themselves with other people, personal experiences, or the system. Adam calls this reference, meaning that employees use each other as reference points. The structure of equity in the workplace is based on the ratio of inputs to outputs. Employees compare their efforts and rewards with others in similar work situations. They work in exchange of rewards from the organization, are motivated by desire to be treated at work as equal. Okay, equity exists when employees perceive that ratio of their inputs, which is effort, to their output, which is rewards, are equivalent to the ratio of other similar employees. In equity, where you can see the imbalanced pendulum at your right side, inequity exists when these ratios are not equivalent. If individual's outcome is less than the other's outcome, it is perceived as inequity and employees dislike it. If it is the same or equal, employees will be satisfied and they will be more motivated. And if their outcomes are more than the others, it is also inequity where they will feel overconfidence. Employees should be aware that different types of effort and skills are required for different level and are therefore rewarded differently. Okay, in conclusion, employees should not be made to feel that they put in the same amount of effort as colleagues at higher levels or without being paid. the same salary. This means that the tasks are delegated to lower level employees. This needs to be rewarded fairly in order to keep everyone happy. The concerns of comparing input and output makes the Adams equity theory of motivation complex. Next. That's all from us. Thank you.